So, Colin, I want to talk about you not as the world-renowned athlete that we all know you as, not even necessarily for the work that you do with your foundation, but today I want to talk about you as a founder, this new role and this new hat that you've put on that actually perfectly takes all the different pieces of your life, the different stories, and puts them all together for what you're creating today with Lumi. So, starting with that, Colin, in your own words, can you talk to us about Lumi?
Lumi is my newest baby. It is at this point almost a decade of work that's been put in on storytelling and media and publishing and trying to find better ways to elevate creators and create opportunities for people to be able to tell their stories better, which in trying to solve those problems led to the founding of Lumi. So what we do at Lumi is our mission is to democratize storytelling. And our vision for the future is individual creators will look like Disney. They'll be able to create their own stories from idea to final product. They'll have their own digital and physical distribution. They'll be able to merchandise all of their own stories, and they'll be able to do it all on one platform. It's been an exciting journey, a lot of learning in the process, and to be able to now introduce it to the world and have them see what's been in the works for some time now. It's a really exciting opportunity.
Social media, all it takes nowadays to spark up an online fight is to merely have an opinion. One opinion will cause many to spiral into a pit hole of anger where no one dialogues, only insults the person who has the unpopular or even the popular opinion regarding the latest trends in comic books, movies, or pulp culture. It makes sense given the circumstance. After all, acting tough behind the protective wall of the black mirror we all own and use on a daily basis makes it easy for anyone to jump right into a tirade of insults and threats. Again, just for having an opinion that they may disagree with. I decided to go against that notion. I've decided to start a video series where we discuss the hot topic issues within the comic book industry and pulp culture and provide you with another perspective. One of logic, reason, with just plain old dialogue between two people who have different opinions. My co-host and I will discuss the pop culture topics at hand in a fun, engaging, and respectable manner. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. Hello. Welcome, everyone, to the Let's Talk About It. I'm Julius Freeman, and my host with me today is, as always,
Kyle. It's like, what, you got other hosts now?
Yeah. It's I use different kind of AI bots for other shows. Just
I see.
Just keep that on the down low, So yeah, we're back, guys. Last week we were not here because, well, we went to San Diego Comic-Con, and Kyle and I had a blast. Yeah. I certainly did. Kyle did. There's a lot of things that we did on the weekend, a lot of panels that we attended, a lot of vendors that we visited. I got to connect with a few creators that I know. What was that? Parasocially is the word that's been thrown around lately. Like Neff from Global Frequency, I got to meet him and his lovely girlfriend, and I got to meet. I also got to meet Johnny C, who does a show called the Indie Relay on their own YouTube channel. So I got to meet him, and I got to meet a few other people and attend a lot of panels. But for the most part, it was a great experience. But Kyle, how was your experience at San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh, it was fantastic. There was so much that I did. I mean, but the thing is, with this convention, it's like so much bigger and larger and so much more things to do at this convention than any other convention that I've been to. Like, I feel like even with all the stuff that I did and all the people that I met, I still only feel like I only did like 40%, if that, of what I could do at the convention. Because there's just so much, cool stuff to do and it was just so much fun. We're gonna go and get into it. There was a few things that I wanted to share before we get started about the stuff that I got. Sort of an update on a few other things that I got. So before San Diego Comic-Con, the week before, there was a show in Glendale that was called Torpedo Con. And there I was able to meet Jim Lee and
Nice.
sign X-Men #1.
I think it's safe to say that Kyle has become a bona fide nerd, comic book nerd, getting all these signatures from all these greats. First, you get Frank Miller. Now you got Jim Lee. And
Well, I'll have something for the Frank Miller thing in just a second, but yeah.
okay, yeah, and he also got another creator, but I'll let him share that
Oh,
story
yeah.
because it's such
There's a lot
such
more
rad story.
creators coming up. But yeah, Jim Lee signed X-Men #1. So that was really cool. That's compared to everything else that I've gotten, that's like a low grail right now.
He ain't joking
next-
either, guys. He ain't
The
joking.
next thing, this is a grail. So you mentioned Frank Miller. I finally got my graded books back from Dallas Convention of the Frank Miller signed Dark Knight Returns, all 4 of them by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. And let's just say I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, especially with #1, which is right here.
Look at that.
9.8.
9.8 Dark Knight Returns issue 1 signed and verified by
Verified.
CGC, Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. I mean,
Klaus Janson. Trying to get
wait,
so
that,
it's
that wait, did I say that?
reflecting
Did I
so
get- did I-
much.
Yeah, I did,
What?
right? I gave the right name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to give the wrong name.
So yeah, 9.8 signed by both of them.
Kyle, where do you live? No, I'm just kidding.
In an undisclosed location. And then the other ones, I'll just quickly go over them. #2 got a 9.4.
Nice. And that's a great cover. I love that cover.
Yeah. This one's cool. All right, there's a good shot of it. All right, 9.4. And then #3 got a 9.6.
Nice. All signed by Frank Miller, by the way. ladies
All
and
signed
gentlemen.
by Frank and all signed by Klaus. And then
And
last but not
verified.
least-
Let's just hit that home. Verified. So that means
verified.
that they can't say, well, it could be a fake signature. No, it's verified. That Frank Miller signed. He held these books with his hand and he signed it with the marker.
9.4, #4, Klaus Jan. I really like this one. This one's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that's also a rad cover.
Yeah. So, I am extremely happy with those and how they turned out for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
But
You
the
have to be-
#1 getting the 9.8, that one was so much fun and so great because that was also a book that I got for free because I helped my local comic shop move. And the signature for Frank was also free because they messed up a whole bunch of signatures with CGC. So that one I really, really like.
And with the Jim Lee, here's a funny story I'll add to that. Kyle told me that when he went to get his book signed by Jim Lee, he could have
Right.
brought a few more books for him to sign because after he signed that one book, Jim Lee asked him straight up, "Do you have any more? I'll sign them." But he didn't have any
Yeah.
because
I
they told him
know.
it was one signature per. Like it
That
was
is
one
for-
large price for a signature, but I guess Jim Lee was feeling generous that day, so he
I
could have gotten
know,
more.
now-
He could have. I could have given him some of my Jim Lee books to sign.
I know. Since that time, now I know always to carry more books than what you're going to get signed, just in case
Yeah,
you ever
Yeah.
have a generous thing.
You never know, right?
yeah.
You never know.
You never know. But anyway, so now we can get into the convention. So do we want to
San Diego, yeah, I'll start real quick. San Diego was a convention for me that was, if you watched not last week's shows, but the show 2 weeks ago, it was near and dear to me. I'm California native, right? So I just drove down there the first times I went there. So it was the first time I went back after, maybe a 10-year hiatus, I want to say. And I'll admit, the first day I was a little bit bummed because I kind of was reminded that there's a reason why I stopped going, and one of the reasons was too many people. And the second thing was it was more pop culture than comic books. And
That
the
is
third
true.
thing was I was hoping that I have at least Reset Protocol or Vision Fury in my hands when I attended it, so I could, shop it around, show it around to some people, see if it got some interest, but that didn't happen. So Friday was a day where I went, and then I was a little tired. I was really tired. I woke up early. We got there quick. I mean, it wasn't. I was expecting like a jam, a freeway jam, but nope. It was
I know
smooth sailing.
we were driving down, and I'm like, yeah, so you want to get off over here? He's like, wait, we're here already?
Yeah. And I ended up falling asleep midday.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I took a long nap than expected, so I missed a bunch of panels that I wanted to attend. But Saturday was a lot better. Saturday was a lot
geezer
more.
You are.
Yeah. Saturday was a lot better. Saturday was I got to attend a lot of panels that I wanted to go to. There was a little hiccup where I forgot that I couldn't remember if I locked my car, so I had to go back to be sure. But it didn't take long, so thankfully it took less time than I thought. And it was a great. It was a great day. Let's just say that for Saturday. Friday was a great day for Kyle because I left when we got to the floor. I was a little bit shell shocked a bit. I guess that's I don't know if that's the right word to use, but because I saw people running, and I was like, "Why are people running?" And of course, the San Diego people were like, "Please don't run, no running." And I'm like walking all casual, like, hands in my pockets, kind of just browsing around, and I'm wondering, like, why are people running? I forgot it's because they need to get in line for the exclusives and all that stuff. And Kyle and I, like, we split, and I didn't see Kyle for about until like we got there around 9 o'clock in the morning. They let us in 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And we didn't meet up again until maybe like 12:30, 1.
Yeah.
And when I called him and said, "Hey, I'm over here at this aisle. Let's meet up here." And we met up, and Kyle already had these like big bags full of stuff. So and I was like, "Damn, dude, you went all out." And he got some cool stuff too, people. Like, he went to the Alex Ross stand. He got the mystery box, which was I'll let you decide if you want to share the price, but he got that. He got a bunch of cool stuff that I was looking. He was showing them off, and. But yeah, go ahead, Kyle. You let us know what you experienced that first day.
All right, so yeah, we got there at the convention, and so I as Julius can tell you that I did a lot of planning into this trip.
He sure did.
Before
he sure did.
Yeah. So I was telling him, okay, I'm gonna hit this spot, and I'm gonna hit this spot, and then I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna do this. And so one of the first things that I did at the convention is I wanted to meet Geoff Johns, because obviously huge Green Lantern fan. So I'm wearing my Green Lantern shirt right there. And so yeah, he was signing for free, which was great, but it is limited to 3. And so I brought an extra book just in case, but he was already, trying to get through the line, because just him getting through the line was like an hour and a half just trying to meet him. But he was really cool. Got the photo, and then got some Green Lantern signed books.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. That kind of looks like AI right there with the 2 fingers.
I know. That's what
I know. It's kind of suspect.
You've been saying. It's like,
that's kind of suspect.
You should wait until I see all this other stuff that I got.
Oh, but you know what? As we can see here, you got Green Lantern Rebirth issue 1 by Geoff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. You got that signed. There it is.
I did. I also got the second issue signed as well, and that one I had already gotten previously signed by Ethan Van Sciver, but I bought it signed. It was like in a collection,
right?
And so it was already signed. So I got that one signed as well. So now the number 2 that I have is signed by Ethan Van Sciver and Geoff Johns.
Very nice, dude. Very nice.
Yeah. So that one was really cool.
And
And
then
so then-
here's you with
Kevin Eastman. So that was on. This is Saturday. When you said that people were going there to try to get all of the books, or running in the convention. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's because they were out to go and get the wristbands, because the only way that you can meet Kevin Eastman is if you had a wristband, and they were given out at first come first serve at the booth at IDW booth. So
I
you
see.
had to get there, and then Eastman was signing again 3 signatures, but all free. And so I got him to sign. I'll show you, when he blows me up, all the other stuff, all the ones that got signed. But I got him to sign a reprint of the second printing of Ninja Turtles #3, like the first #3, series.
The first volume
First
one.
volume,
Yeah.
volume 1, and then first printing of #10, signed by him.
Okay, nice.
And then also The Last Ronin, signed by him and pretty much everybody else that worked on that project.
Beautiful.
I'll show you all those later. There he
Yep,
is.
there you go. There they
signing
are,
the
right there.
books.
If you guys are jealous in the chat, please let it be known.
So yeah, just within a span of a couple
Oh,
hours.
look
I
at
got
this.
Jeff-
That's a cool shirt. I didn't even notice the kind of shirt he was wearing. That's pretty rad.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. So you met Jeff Johns. So you said he
Jeff
was cool.
Johns.
How was Kevin Eastman? Was Kevin Eastman also very cool?
Kevin Eastman was awesome though. He loved it. He was like, when I was bringing out the books to him, he's like, "All right, classic books."
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so he loved signing them, and he was just an all around cool guy. He was loving taking pictures of everybody. All the other guys who were signing the Last Ronin stuff, they're all like, "Yeah, I'll sign it. Yeah, I'll sign." All this stuff, and so, it was such a great time. And then on Friday, I didn't get a picture of it because Rob Liefeld wasn't one to go, and you have to pay for his picture and his autographs. So, but I did get a X-Force #1 and Deadpool signed by Rob Liefeld.
Would you look at that?
So both of these signed by Rob Liefeld. He was really cool though. He would go with and talk to everybody in line and kind of see how everybody was doing, and besides the fact that he was charging everything.
Yeah.
It would have been cooler
exactly.
that if he didn't. And then if
Yeah.
you want to keep blowing me up, here I'll show you you can see them in the picture, but here's the closer look
Nice.
at the turtles,
Yeah.
and then
Classic.
here's the Last Ronin. This is
Nice.
signed by pretty much everybody. Eastman's is down here. So I got all those signed, and then I got all them because they're doing the new Ninja Turtles as well too. So they signed this print poster little thing.
Benjamin saying he's super jealous.
I'm not done, Ben. I'm not. There's still more. So and
It's a
then
shame
you
that Peter
mentioned.
Laird wasn't there. That would have been kind of complete if he was there.
Yeah, I know. That would have been pretty good. Oh, yeah, and then also keeping with Turtles, I got Jason Aaron and Joelle Jones to sign the new
the latest.
the latest Turtles.
Nice.
So that was cool. Got that. Those were free as well because I got the wristband.
Ah, okay, nice. Exclusive access.
And then in the Alex Ross box that you mentioned, you were in the box. You got a guaranteed sign 9.8 book of a cover that he's done, 2 more books of covers that he's done that were also signed, 1 other cover of a book that he's done, some posters, some bookmarks, some prints, and then you had the chance to get a original sketch by him. Unfortunately, my luck wasn't for the original sketch, but I did get this Crisis on Infinite Earths 9.8
Nice.
signed by
Nice.
Alex Ross.
Very nice.
So yeah,
Getting the good stuff.
that's cool. And then in terms of the other books that I got signed that were in the box were this JLA little preview thing. So it's signed there, and then they all come with the certified authentic thing.
Nice.
And then JSA, Hawkman, Hawkgirl.
Yeah, no one can do covers like Alex Ross, man. I know I know some people don't like his style because it's too realistic, but I mean, you can't. When you're one of a kind, when you're unique, it's. I mean, who can top that? I mean, Joe Jusko is the only one that I can think of that could probably come close, but even Joe Jusko still has a little bit of the comic book edge to his artwork, whereas Alex Ross kind of looks like a Renaissance painting.
Oh yeah,
you know. And who's this fellow here?
I was again just walking the convention, just happened to meet the co-creator of Phineas and Ferb, the cartoon show, and who's also the voice of Dr. Doofenshmirtz. You know, I just
walking around, just chilling,
just walking around, you know. And I'm like, wait, aren't you the guy from Phineas and Ferb, Doofenshmirtz? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, can I get a picture? He's like, sure. So
nice.
Yeah, just happened to get a picture with him. So that was also really fun. I can't tell you the amount of people that I saw at this convention that like the amount of, you said that there's like a lot of crowd, at this convention, and there is, and there was a lot. And I think there was a video that was somewhere. This looks like Kyle with his future self. It kind of does.
You met your future self, Kyle.
Who knows,
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Exactly.
But I met him. I met, a bunch of other friends and acquaintances that I've known all at this convention. Happened to run into them. It's like so crazy how I met all these people. But in terms of some other, so I went to go and see Kevin Eastman and his panel. However, the panel sucked. It was not because of Kevin Eastman necessarily, but because the whole panel was just a Q&A, and the questions that the fans were asking were just like, what's going to be happening in Invincible, or what's going to be happening in Walking Dead, or something like that. And all the answers that he could say was like, I can't tell you guys.
Wait. Kevin Eastman or Robert Kirkman?
Robert Kirkman. Sorry.
Okay. I was about to go with you. Wait a second. What?
Well, you were
what are you talking about?
You were showing the picture of Kirkman.
Okay. So you're referring to Kirkman's panel that you attended.
Kirkman's panel was whatever, because it was just a Q&A, and people were just saying like, what can you, who can you fan cast as, the live action version of Invincible? And he's like, I can't do that, because then if I say it, then that's going to be on the news, and then lawsuits and stuff will happen. So I can't. And so basically the whole panel was just like, I can't say that. And so he tried to be a little bit funny with some answers and questions and stuff, but there was really nothing for that to happen with. So that was a little disappointing. I didn't really stay at that panel too long. And then the next panel that I went to was the Kingdom Come documentary. Now, this one was one that I really wanted to see, because they were showing off some clips of the documentary that's going to be coming. Obviously, I'm a huge Alex Ross fan, and Kingdom Come is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, the favorite, comic book story that I've read. Is what really got me into comic books. And I didn't realize that the guy in the middle,
this guy,
he's actually the reference that Alex Ross used to make Shazam in the book.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So when he was younger, I guess the what Shazam looks like in the book, that's him.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that was cool. I didn't realize that he was gonna be there. And then you had Mark Waid over there.
Yeah, douchebag.
Yeah.
I can't help myself with that guy. I really don't like Mark Waid anymore.
Well, I mean, like, I like
it's the reason why I didn't go to this panel. I wanted to go to this panel, but I was like, you know what? If Alex Ross isn't going to be here to kind of, backhand Mark Waid, from what I read last, I don't know if they patched things up, but from what I read last time, Alex Ross and Mark Waid don't get along.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't get along. But that's what I read. I don't know if they've gone past it or what. But from what I read years ago, Mark Wade, like he does, right? He rubs people the wrong way, and he said some things that got Alex Ross upset that involved Kingdom Come, and they never worked together again. They were supposed to supposedly work on a sequel, but that kind of nixed it after that.
Well, I can't say I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but I think that's it. That's all the pictures that I have.
Okay, yeah. I also got some of convention exclusives as well. So I got this cool Conan because I'm a big, I really like this new Conan series that's coming out. So they had this
Nice.
homage cover to classic was What If storyline of, well, what if Conan was in the real world?
Right.
Yeah. So I got that. And then I got one of the exclusive McFarlane action figures, and part of it is this action figure of the Superman. And so this is the homage to this cover.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Eric the Wapo says, imagine having such a terrible attitude where you blow working with one of the greatest comic artists to ever live. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Exactly. Easy money too. The sequel to Kingdom Come would have been easy money, like the easiest money you could ever make. But when you have a massive ego, nothing you can do no wrong. No, you're always right, and everyone else is wrong. Everyone is stupid except for me.
Yeah, that's Julius's motto.
Yeah.
So then I got these two cool foil covers of the new Superman logo, new James Gunn, and I don't know if this is supposed to be the new Batman logo that they're going to be rolling out, or there's just the Batman logo that they had. So anyway, those are cool. And very so then cool. Let's see what else. I got some other like exclusives like from Hasbro and stuff like that, but those aren't really all that interesting. But the big thing was the creme de la creme, the piece de resistance, the whatever you want to call it, the crowning jewel of this convention for me. The one that I'm going to be remembering this convention fondly for years to come was I had, as you have seen, I got pretty much everything that, I could, like in terms of artists and stuff. One of the big things and one of the people there, persons there that I wanted to see was Todd McFarlane. The only thing was he was super hard to go and see because like he was like hopping all around the convention. So like he'd be like at the Image booth for an hour and he'd be like, okay, you have to be at the Image booth. You have to get your wristband to go see him. And then he'd only be there for an hour. Then he'd jump over to the McFarlane booth and he'd be there for an hour. You'd have the wristband to go see him there. And then he'd jump over to, this autograph signing area, but you had to go there and like wait in line to go and get a chance to get a ticket, to wait in line to buy the ticket, to, actually see him. And so I had brought some books with me, just like thinking, okay, it's possible that maybe I could get in line with one of them, or maybe I'll see a friend and I'll go and, join them in line, and possible I get an autograph by him. And this was close to the end of Saturday. And I'm like, there's all the autographs and everything is already all gone. I'm not seeing Todd McFarlane. So I went to go to the Ninja Turtles panel with Kevin Eastman and all the Last Ronin people. And so then I get out of the panel. I'm just meandering my way down the stairs, just like, I'll just go into the convention center and see what else is there. So as I'm literally walking into the convention center, just so happens Todd McFarlane is just by himself with his handler walking right towards me. And so then I'm like, I see him and I'm like, getting my bag out. I'm getting my books out. I had my pens on me. And then I'm just like, Mr. McFarlane, can I just can I get your autograph on this? And then his handler's all like, no, he's got a meeting to go to. And then Tom McFarlane's like, no, I'll sign it. And so, yeah, he just goes, takes my book. I'm like literally like busting the bag out. And then he signed
Look at that. Look at that.
Spider-Man #1 gold foil version for free. No waiting in lines, no nothing. Just so much fun. Just like, oh yeah, I'll sign it.
That was very cool of him. That was very,
Yeah.
very cool of him. I mean, I was surprised. I was like, he did that for real? And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that is awesome. The fact that he told his handler who was rushing him out, no, he just went like, you know what? Nah, I'll sign it. It's all good. And he signed, like, that's amazing, dude. That's awesome that you got to do that. Seriously.
I know. This is the one that like I was so happy to get. And I was like showing this off to every single person that I know. You know, and they every single time, like I was like one of the other shop owners that I know, I told him about it, and he's like, so you just happened to run into him, and you just happened to get it signed, and no charge, no nothing. He just did it. So,
and that's what it's all about. That's one of the great things about the Comic-Con. If you're a comic book fan, I mean, I can't speak on people who go there for the pop culture stuff, but for comic book fans who enjoy the Eric saying it's the baby face, Kyle. It's your baby face that got the book signed for you. But yeah, for us comic book fans who are there, we love the comics, we love to read them, we know the names behind the comic books, our favorite comic books, and for that to happen when, like you mentioned, right, it was line after line. You had to go a line for this, you had to go a line for that, you had to go a line to get his signature, wristbands, all that stuff, and for you to just come across him, which happens a lot at con. You just never know when someone's walking by and you're like, wait a second, that's Ross, that's Tim Sale, that's Rob Liefeld. Oh damn. And dude, and you got Tom McFarlane at the right place, the right place at the right time.
I know. It's like literally, I'm like thinking back. It's like if I had just waited at that panel another minute or so, if I had just walked down the different set of stairs, I would have just completely missed him, and then that whole thing would have been gone. I would have never met him. But no, just wild. That's what happened. You know, just to get it.
That's cool, dude. That's cool.
So you know, like my catchphrase is build those experiences.
There you go. There you go. Like that's the phrase of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Phrase of the day. 90% planning, 10% luck. Let's how about that?
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's great, man. In your first year going to the con, you build an experience. Now you know how it's run. It's huge, right? It's like a really packed, busy convention floor, isn't it?
Like I said at the beginning, you know, I feel like I only did like maximum 40% of what I could do at that convention. Like there was so much that you could do at this convention and so many places you could go. It's like I have never been to a convention like this before, where it's like, you know, other conventions I've been to, it's like in the 2 days that you're there, you could see it all. I mean, other smaller conventions, it's like an hour and you can see it all. You know, some bigger conventions, it's like, yeah, you can see everything. You can go down every row, talk to people, and you'll be able to see everything. But this convention, San Diego Comic-Con, first time experience, no, there's just so much to do. There was just complete swaths of the convention that I just omitted because I just couldn't get there to see it. And it just makes me want to go there again and see all those things. Like I didn't even get to go into Hall H. That was the one thing on my list that I didn't get to do. I wanted to go inside to see Hall H, but I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen the news about Robert Downey Jr. It's like that getting in there was just a nightmare. And before that too, there was already a whole bunch of nightmares that happened. I heard that on Thursday, when I was waiting in line for Rob Liefeld, I was talking to the people online. They said that on Thursday when they were doing the screening of Deadpool and Wolverine, they cleared out Hall H. No one,
No one enters Hall H. Hall
Well-
H enters you. But go on, keep going.
So they cleared out Hall H for the screening, and the way that you could get into the screening was that if you had the badge for Thursday, you could log on and enter your name into a raffle, and you get a ticket, and then you can come back and get inside to watch the movie. So they had 1,000 people with tickets up on the grassy area up next to the Hall H, and so they were letting just the people in, but I guess the movie was about to start soon, and the people weren't getting scanned in fast enough, so they just opened the doors without scanning and let everybody in that was coming in, completely omitting all the people that were up on the top waiting in line who had the tickets. So it filled up, and then all the people that were up on top just didn't get in, and it was just like a, well, sucks to be you type of situation.
Damn.
So that was a big old mess up on their end for that.
Yeah. Wild.
So,
Wild.
but yeah, in their like the Funko Pop, they had their whole like, world over there.
Sure did.
You could go, and apparently I didn't even realize it until like the last day. You could have gotten a Funko Pop of yourself of Wolverine or Deadpool. And I'm like, I would have liked to have done that. But like, of course, the lines were like crazy long and super packed. That's another thing too. Friday, I didn't think was so bad in terms of like, not in terms of what I pictured in my mind as packed. Saturday was the day that I pictured, okay, yeah, this is what I felt like packed of, like, there was absolutely nowhere that I could do to like sit down and just eat a slice of pizza. It's like every single place was just like completely covered over by people. So
Totally.
But I
packed.
loved it. It was so much fun. So
Awesome.
yeah.
My experience was a little different than that.
I know you had like we split off like like you said, right at the beginning. Like I went and did my own thing. And
we did that for both days.
Thing.
But we did that for both days. I want to do my own thing. Kyle wanted to do his. I'm not really big on waiting in line for signatures, especially when I have to pay for them.
Well, like I said, majority of them I got for free. But
right. I mean, now I know. I thought I was convinced. I convinced myself that all the bigger names would charge per signature, but you told me that Jeff Johns didn't. He only had a limit of 3, which is totally fair.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. Hey, give a limit, but don't charge me $20 for your damn chicken scratch. That's just ridiculous.
Well, and he was also a person too that was in multiple spots throughout the days, because he was at like the Image booth at one day, and then he was at his own Ghost Machine booth at a different day. So he was available throughout the convention. So
my experience was a bit more reconnaissance work. Well, not reconnaissance. What am I?
Reconnaissance.
It was more a survey. Like I was surveying the culture. I was surveying the landscape. That was my thing. My thing was a little bit of fun and a little bit of like, okay, what does the market look like? What's the business side look like in the industry? And of course, you look at Comic-Con, right? And you see the massive crowd walking around, and you automatically think, wow, comics are booming. But the reality is it though? Because the majority of the time, people are there not for comics. They're there for the movies. They're there because they want to meet actors. They're there because they want their Funko Pop, exclusive. They're there because of Hasbro, whatever the case may be, toys, action figures, statues, whatever. And that's fine. But I wanted to really find out what the industry, what were people talking about? And so before I go into that, I want to just point out the fun stuff that I got to do. And when I went there, I was looking for the vendors that had half off their comic books in their back bins. And there was only one vendor that did that. The rest of the vendors were all greedy little bastards that charged full price, refused to give you deals when you wanted to buy bulk, and this is the price, take it or leave it. And it's like, damn it, dude. Okay, well, you're
Yeah,
taking out
do
the
that.
fun out of the whole collecting thing now. And there was only
That-
one vendor that did that, and I'm grateful for that because I got to pick up a few cool books. But what were you gonna say, Kyle?
I was gonna say, continue. Adding to that, I want to say that in terms of comic book vendors itself, it was small. It
Very
was
small.
probably the smallest that I have ever been to at a convention. And that's just so baffling to me because this is the biggest comic book convention in the world, basically, and it has the smallest number of actual comic book vendors.
It was small, man. It was abysmal almost.
I know.
I couldn't believe
And
it.
like you said, I was looking for a book for my friend because he says, "Okay, just go. I know I can't be there with you. Just go look for this book for me." And I
Right.
found it. A couple of vendors had it. It's like a $10 book maximum. They were selling it for $25, $35.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not paying
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead.
So, Oli says STC has comic vendors. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. Oli.
In name
So
only.
this was one vendor had, half off all books in the bins. Perfect. So I was looking through, their collection, and I found one Captain America issue that I've been wanting for a while, and I've been looking for it, but no one has it. And when I do find it, obviously it's for 50, 60 bucks, or if it's graded, it's for a lot more.
Mhm.
But I found this issue of Captain
It's
America.
so cool. This is one that I'm jealous of because
Yeah.
I really
Now,
want
as you can
that one
see,
too.
it says 20 bucks there, but since it was half off, I got it for 10.
Man.
And that was and again, it was one of those things where I was like, oh hell yeah. Now I feel at home at San Diego Comic-Con. This is the kind of stuff I like going to Comic-Cons for, to find stuff like this at a reasonable price, because the vendors there just want to get rid of stuff because they know they're gonna sell it because there's a bunch of collectors there. But since not many comic book collectors were there, it was finally, I was happy that I got to find a vendor that did give half off for their books. I found this one,
Mhm.
and I also found
Such a
this
cool one. Such a cool.
and I found this
Oh,
one.
wow.
Frank Miller, written and drawn, Daredevil. This is when it became a monthly book. So I guess apparently Daredevil before used to be a bi-monthly book, but this is the first
really?
issue where they officially made it into a monthly book, and it's a rad cover.
That's
Daredevil
cool.
kicking Kingpin, written and drawn by Frank Miller. So
I'm a big Frank Miller
Awesome.
fan.
and I did find the vendor who had all the key issues of Frank Miller's run. I'm talking about Punisher shooting Daredevil in the stomach issue.
Oh, really?
The one where Daredevil's holding the gun. He's pointing the gun.
Oh, yeah.
at
I know
someone.
that one.
Yeah, he had all of them. Elektra,
Oh.
dying, Bullseye stabbing Elektra.
First
The
Elektra,
issue
I assume.
where Matt Murdock is crying and hugging the cemetery, not the cemetery, but the
Headstone.
the headstone. He had all those, but he wanted like $50 a pop for all of them, and they weren't even in like good plastic bags and like boards. They were like in rundown bags and boards. I was like, dude, you can't. Can you cut me a deal here? Because if this is half off, I would take all of them. But since he didn't want half off, he was like, no, sorry, man. What about if I get like 5? He said, nope.
Wow.
He was an old timer, old school. So I'm assuming he's just like, no, man, we're at a Comic-Con. So you can pay for these books, And I also found I got this one here. This one was from a different vendor. Action Comics. This is the one drawn by George Perez. And this one.
That's a cool
one.
Brainiac. Yeah.
And I found this one with a different vendor who, again, the kind of vendors I like. The vendors who kind of know what they have and they don't care. They just want to get rid of it. So I found the first issue of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Ooh.
First volume. First printing too. In pretty
That's
good condition.
cool.
It's a little beat up. It's a little beat up, but you know what? When I looked inside, it says first printing, so I was like, sweet. I'm taking this because if I at least get this graded, I can sell it for a nice amount of money.
That's Alan Moore, right?
Yeah, Alan Moore, Kevin O'Neill, and then I got issue 5.
Cool. What's the story behind it? Like, what's the actual story?
What he did was he got a bunch of public domain characters who made into a super team. So Alan Quartermain, not Mary Shelley, the girlfriend of Dracula in the Bram Stoker novel. I forget her name. The Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
Oh, okay.
Captain Nemo, and I think that's it. And so he pretty much just kind of grabbed all those public domain characters, literary characters, and made it into a comic book. Mira, thank you, Ben. Mira, that's her name.
Okay.
Lisa says, yeah, you're paying for the comic plus the booth. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
seriously, man.
I know, like, some of the vendors that I was talking to and looking around and stuff like that, it's like all they had was just the big ticket item books,
Yeah.
like Fantastic Four #1, or like,
right.
Action Comics #4, ASM, #1, all the really big ones that's like, 30, 40, $100,000 type books. It's
Yeah.
like, no. Oh, there was one thing I did see those new PSA slabs
Oh, right.
that they're doing.
Right. And they're
I got
bricks
to hold
apparently
one.
from you though.
Yeah, they're heavy and they're solid though. So it's like real, like unlike the CGC ones where they're pretty light and the comic is kind of just in there. These ones, they're just like, it's almost like cemented in almost. And like, like I said, they're I want to say about maybe 2 to 3 times the weight of a normal CGC book or CGC case. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting to say the least. But yeah, but the vendors there all had the big ticket items. There was hardly any that just had actually, like you said, normal comic book stuff and prices.
Yeah, not many, not much. Which was a little sad for me, to be honest with you. But hey, again, it's just that's just the way it is. So now to get to the business side of things, earlier before we started the show, I played a clip from Colin Kaepernick's interview where he announced the company he's starting up, which was Lima, whatever it was called.
Lima.
It was Lumi. So Saturday morning, I attended this panel called CCC. It's a creator connection something, and I don't know what the last C stands for. I think it's Comic Creator Connection. That's what it is. Comic Creator Connection. And it was a panel of their all-stars, meaning that, this, for quick context, this networking group, what they do is they have like a speed dating system. So you show up to their event, writers sit on one side, artists sit on the other, and the writers are the ones who rotate around the artists. So like every minute or 2 minutes, you're pitching your services, your idea, whatever, to the artist and vice versa, and then you move on to the next person, and you collect their business cards or you scan their QR code, whatever, and then depending on who you met, you follow up, and then you collaborate, and you hopefully make a comic book together.
Okay.
It's a great event.
Seems like good in theory.
Yeah, it is. It works. It works.
Oh, okay.
The panel of all stars that I attended were the people who actually joined and followed through and made comic books together.
Oh, okay.
And now they have a comic book together that they met. We met 3 years ago at this very event, and we collaborated, brainstormed, and now we have this book that's being sold, or now we have this book that's in previews. So it was a great panel. It really was. But they mentioned that Colin Kaepernick was there that year, that on Thursday night, and he did the whole thing. He sat down, every person met him, and he explained to the organizer that he was there because he was going to start a comic book company that was going to be a platform for what do you call it? What's the word they use?
Platform for
the voices of minority voices. There you go, minorities. And of course, now comes out that he is going to create this company that's going to be used by AI. No, not homosexuality. Wait, Rick. So that was a little disappointing, but later that day, I went to another mixer, and on the way to that mixer, I walked through the small press area, and I was checking out a lot of the people in that area, and some books, you know, were okay, some weren't. And Project Noasis, shout out to that guy. He really impressed me because he said hello to every single person who walked by his table. And he was able to hook a few of them. Like I was talking to the guy, well, I was with Neff at this point, and he was talking to this comic book creator who had drawn this comic book where if you downloaded his app and you pointed your phone camera to the panel of one of his pages of his book and let it sit there, the panel will start to animate and like do its thing. So like, for instance, say the first panel was a car screeching to take off, right? So you'll point your camera at the panel and then wait like a second or two, and then you will see the actual the sound as well, and the car taking off like an animated show. It was wild. I was like, what the hell, dude? And so, but Project Noasis was the guy next to him, and he you know, I was watching him and I was hearing him. He said, hello, hey man, hello, hey, you looking for comics? Hey, he wouldn't stop, and he eventually got a few people like, all right, man, what you got? You know, and he pitched his book and ended up selling a few books while I was standing there. So I was like, dude, this guy
appreciate the hustle.
Yeah, he's a hustler for sure. So I went to this mixer, right? It's a different organization, separate from CCC. And this one was different because it involved industry insiders and people who work in the industry already. And people like myself who are outsiders looking in would sit on the other side, and they would switch. And they would, and what the way it worked was that they would sit down, they would introduce themselves and, you know, list off their accolades of who they worked for, what they published. And they just said, hey, ask me whatever questions you want. And so, of course, everyone asked away. And here is the moment where I found out a lot about what's going on in the industry, which was great. It's not too great right now in the industry, in the mainstream corporate owned industry. One guy said that floppies are probably going to be going away. Publishers are right now currently trying to find a good substitute to floppies because they eventually do want to do away with them. They're going away, essentially. Another guy.
I don't like that.
Hey, well, it is what it is, man. Like it's one of those things where, unfortunately, the stories are not strong enough for people to want to come back every month to pick up a floppy issue. Now, of course, this is just one guy's opinion. It doesn't really mean it's true. Maybe for all we know, he probably heard it from some guy who maybe was in the meeting and they just kind of talked about it, but they're not going to do it. I mean, we don't know. Other than that, it was the only promising thing about it was that every single person who we spoke to and asked questions to said the key now is for you to build your own, I guess, platform and build your own base. That's the upside to this. So one guy did say, a shop owner actually did say that Diamond Distribution was on shaky legs, and he told the table, take that for what you will. Just know that they're on shaky legs, so don't be dependent on Diamond going forward. Use them if you can do it, if you can afford it. You know, do the whole minimum order and all that stuff. Go for it, but don't rely on them because right now it's not looking good for Diamond. And he says, I don't want them to go away, but I see what's going on because I'm a shop owner. I order from them. I'm in constant communication like all shop owners are, and it's not looking good for Diamond right now. Those were his words, not mine. And so that kind of got me all like, okay, wow, this is interesting. Let's see, Eric says maybe if they go to the digest format, but if floppies go, so does their collector market. That's true.
I know that's what I mentioned to you when you mentioned that. It's like one of their main things is all the variant covers that they
Right.
do.
Yeah.
It's like that some
Well,
people
that's
just
why
go and do it.
that's why they rely on variant covers, because they
Yeah.
know the story itself ain't gonna sell the books.
Yeah,
And that's the sad part about it, is that the stories are supposed to sell the books, not the variant covers. I mean, variant covers are great; they're fun, right? You get to find them, and if you find one, you pay a little bit more, but it's going to be a collector's item, and you could obviously resell it at a higher price. But the whole thing about collecting comics is what I just showed you, right? That Captain America one, a collector's item, because the story was so good.
Right.
The delivery of that, because that Captain America issue, when it first came out, was just a regular issue. It was just another Captain America book, but the story was so solid that as time went on, people remembered it fondly, and now it became a collector's item.
Well, there are some older books as well too that are just remembered for the covers as well.
Exactly. So there's that to think about. What else did I attended a panel about publishers' rights. Not publishers' rights, how to submit your book to a publisher. And there was a writer there on the panel who did say, he didn't give details. He just told the crowd, the industry is hurting right now. We're not doing good right now. So he was talking about, submitting your book to publishers, meaning Image, Dark Horse, whatever. So if you're lucky enough to get one of your books published by these publishers, just be grateful that you're going to get it, because right now it ain't looking good. And this guy, I forget his name, but apparently he's a big name, because obviously everyone was talking to him. Mark Guggenheim, that was his name, Mark Guggenheim. So if you guys know his name, if you guys know who he is, he's a very famous comic writer. He's a TV writer as well. He said it's not doing good right now.
Did he mention any specific publishers that are?
No. He just said in general, it's not. It's not, the industry is not doing well. He said, "Don't be." His words were, "Don't be fooled by the crowd outside." That's what he said. Don't be fooled by them. The industry is hurting right now, but no one elaborated, obviously, because you don't want to be Debbie Downer down there. And I'm kind of being a Debbie Downer now, but I'm just repeating. Well, it's not my fault. I'm just repeating to you guys what I saw and what I heard. And so, like I said, the upside to all this experience is that right now, if you're indie, if you're out there hustling, 656 Comics, myself, Ben, you got your books out there. What you're doing right now is the right thing to do. You're doing it right now. Yeah, sorry, Oli. Hey, like I said, that's not my opinion.
I got Todd McFarlane to sign this.
I'm just repeating what was told to me. Well, not to me, but to us in the audience. But in a way, it's a good time. It's a great time. It's a great time because it's our time to step up to the plate and remind people why comic books are so special and different from TV and movies. So that's what I got from that experience on Saturday.
The thing is, most comic books that are being made now are being made with the intention to be a movie or TV show.
And that's the thing. Yeah. Everyone in the industry seems like they're making their comic book because, like you said, it's a jumping off points. They could be either their book becomes a Hollywood movie or a TV show, or they become a television staff writer.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't hate that because obviously it's a livelihood. I mean, who am I to say, how dare you leave the industry that I want to be part of when
for more money?
Yeah, exactly. For more money to take care of your family or whatever, How
dare you?
Yeah. So, I guess that's the advantage we have is that those of us, the veterans, right, the ones who care about our craft, it's going to be our time to shine if we do it right. Because the business aspect of things is still looking up. It's just a matter of how you present yourself. It's pretty much it. And how you write, what kind of stories you write too.
Well, and in terms of like just the floppies and comics going away, I don't think comics will ever like actually like go away. There's too much like history, too much love for the medium itself, across all different age groups, that I feel like it would, I mean, like, they're not doing a great job right now, but I feel like it'd have to be you know, a significantly worse for it to ever get to the point where they like completely vanish.
Well, let's hope not.
Yeah, I know.
But from, like I said, what I was told, the industry is hurting right now, but they're not going to tell you that they're hurting. They're going to continue on lying to your face that, no, it's great. So, I mean, look at the sales. Yeah, that was manga, but it's comics, though.
Yeah.
The sales are up. Comics are better than ever. But yeah, dude, it's manga, though. It's not American comics. I also did find out that a lot of publishers are going to start closing their doors in terms of publishing new material. So if you're not already established with them, they're not going to look at your stuff no matter how good it is. It could be the next Watchmen, the next Dark Knight Returns, the next, Frank Miller Daredevil. It won't
Turtles
matter. Or the next Turtles. It won't matter. They're not going to green light it because, like I said, people are hurting right now, especially the industry. The one thing that I will say that brought me hope, especially for the direct market, like comic shops, was that same comic shop owner who told us that Diamond Distribution is on shaking ground. He also, I asked him, I'm the one who asked him the question, can an indie writer and creator like myself call you directly and get my book in your shop by me just coming to your shop with the box full of books that you ordered and you display on your wall? And he said, yeah, you have a high chance. And he said, in fact, I know a lot of vendors, a lot of store owners prefer that because they don't have to worry about shipping costs if you can just drive to the shop and drop off your books. And on top of that, he said, we're very open to reading and checking out like local creators because it means it could potentially mean more money. It could potentially mean discovering the next Eastman and Laird, or the next, superstar writer who's really hustling and getting their stuff out there. He's like, but there's ways to do it. If you call my shop and you say, I want to talk to the shop owner, and my employee who has my trust says, oh yeah, well, you could talk to me, and you say, no. You keep insisting you want to talk to the owner, more likely we're not going to let you, or I'm not going to check out your book because you're rude to my employee and so on and so forth. And so I asked him, what about, do you prefer a PDF, like a full PDF of the full story? And he's like, yeah, that's fine, but we prefer a print copy so I could look at it and see how it's presented, how it's all that. That's exactly, Oli. And that's what got me thinking when he was telling me all this stuff. I was like, okay, then I have a car. So there's no excuse for me not to drive to San Diego, not to drive to LA, not to drive to San Bernardino or Riverside, or my area that I could drive relatively close to, and sell my books there. Ghetto Dragon, Vigilant Fury, Research Protocol, whatever.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and
where there's a will, there's a way. But yeah, Oli, I think you're right. It's micro distribution. I think that's where it's going to go back down to, especially when it comes down to selling your books in shops. You got it easy. There's a ton of, you know what? For now, we don't know how long they're going to be around. That's the thing. But even then, that's the whole aspect. One other industry insider that talked to us during that mixer did mention another thing that I'm a proponent of, but egos always get in the way, right? Egos always get in the way of this.
That's not just for comics though. That's just
no. I know. But this individual, she was I think she was a small press publisher. I forget her name because it was, like I said, it was fast. It was like we only talked to him for like 3 minutes at the most, and they had to move to another table. But she said that she recommended to all of us right now, everyone is doing their own thing. You're doing your own. She was pointing at each and every one else on the table. But I guarantee you, if you all join forces and you all pull your resources together, you'll have a better chance pretty much growing faster. If you all collectivize instead of remaining individuals. And I was like, yeah, but You know, what if this person wants to draw a sci-fi book and I want to want to produce a crime book? Like, is that going to mix with the collective? And she was like, yeah, I mean, why not? It doesn't have to be a publisher. It could just be a collective of creators who you just help each other out. Maybe you all pull in your resources, meaning your money, your finances, and you rent a table and a space that you all share. You could do that. Nothing wrong with that.
So
I was like, oh,
yeah. Be like Image, I guess you would say. Yeah.
Well, Image was more of the distribution level.
Yeah.
But she was talking about, you know, small press and getting your stuff out there. And of course, utilizing all the avenues available to us, social media, print on demand. I mean, there is no excuse, in other words. So the time, my conclusion from after thinking about all this stuff and really processing all the information and knowledge that I gathered throughout this weekend or last weekend was the time is now for us, the indie creators, to step up and start becoming a bit more business minded going forward. Well, how can we get more revenue and go outside the YouTube live streaming sphere? You know, it's time to go out of that and start to really get readers to involved in our books instead of this I guess incestuous online relationship that we have with each other currently. It's time to go outside that comfort zone and really start selling your books to new readers. Ben says, my comic shop owner found out about my campaign and asked me to bring it in when I print it. He said he would love to support local artists because the big two are letting down the customers. See, that's right there. Yeah. Right there. That's another prime opportunity, a door opening up for us. You know, and that's what keeps
build those experiences.
Build those experiences. Exactly. So it's cool to hear that the other shops out there feel, yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Like it's. Go ahead.
One of my local shop owners, he says the same thing too. When I mentioned to him about you, when he was at WonderCon, you wanted him to pass out some of your books, and he says, "Of course, I'll do that." He says, "I love supporting local comic shops, and then whenever he gets them in, I'll put them in my shop."
There you go. So, I think that's time. I think it's that time, man. Like you really. When I was your age, Kyle, the end all be all was Marvel, DC, or Image, or Dark Horse. If you ended up in one of those publishers, you were made. You were made a made guy, essentially. But now it's gotten to the point where that's not even a thing anymore. A lot of those quote unquote pros who work for Marvel, DC, with the exception of Image and Dark Horse, when they try to do their own thing, they always almost fail every time, with a few exceptions. There's exceptions to that rule. But when you're a legacy, writer, like for instance, we mentioned earlier about Mark Waid, like when he tried to do his own thing, like with his own characters, he didn't do anything. Like he never left the mark. Frank Miller did, Alan Moore did, but the other, Jeff Loeb, has he done anything original? No. He's just written nothing but legacy characters. Nothing wrong with that again. Mark Millar is another exception. He went on his own, did Nemesis. Great. I mean, now I buy the book.
Right.
Now it's become a legacy character because I know who Nemesis is now. It's a new character, new villain. And, wouldn't it be rad if like he cut a deal with DC and they do a crossover with Nemesis and Batman? Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be cool. I feel like then that would just end up being something similar to what they did with the Watchmen and crossing over into DC.
Well, not integrated. I'm talking about like a Elseworlds.
Just the Elseworlds.
Yeah, like an Elseworlds one shot. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my takeaway from last weekend is simply, even though the San Diego Comic-Con was a lot more pulp culture, it's now a golden opportunity for a lot of us indie creators to really showcase our talent, showcase our skill set, and showcase that we can do what everyone else is doing, but we could do it better because we actually genuinely love the medium. And
Right.
I'm not saying that the people who were in the pro, and on those panels, were not, they don't love the medium. You could tell when who loves the
Oh
medium,
yeah.
who doesn't.
There was one it was the current Conan writer was there, Jim Zub.
Jim Zub, dude, yeah.
And I was talking to him for, I want to say, a good 45 minutes to an hour. Like, we were just talking because this was the first time that I've actually like ever been exposed to, the Conan saga legacy stuff, and I've been loving it. So it was just so great because when talking with him, man, he knew everything. He was like he was just like listing out, okay,
Yeah.
so this in this series, this is what how Conan did in this series, and so we're going to be going in this series, and so this is what, and you could just tell by his enthusiasm and everything that like he knew what he was talking about. He loved what he was talking about, and he wanted to make the best Conan story that he could. And I am all for it, and that's why like I'm 100% on board with the Conan stuff. Just because of him, and it's a great story to begin, on the side as well. So yeah, it's definitely, there are comic book creators out there that love comic books for what they are and what they could bring people to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing that's lost too is the commercial viability of writers currently. They're kind of, it's lost in a lot of writers. And what I mean by that is finding out what sells comic books. It's not just the aesthetic. That's part of it. But I think the major part of what makes comic books memorable is memorable and also top selling, because obviously that you need revenue to keep going. If you don't have the revenue coming in, you can't keep going. And that is strong stories and strong character arcs, strong plots, and a delivery and the execution of a great compelling story that that people can identify with the characters and want to read more adventures of this character.
Yeah.
So I think if more people do that, then it could be a great, comic books can still be a great place where you could tell great stories. And you got to start from the ground up at this point. Grassroots is the key here. The gone are the days of the national distribution, because like I said, that shop owner said that Diamond is on shaky ground. I don't know what that means. Does that mean bankruptcy? Does that mean they're going to shrink? What exactly does that mean when he says shaky grounds? He didn't elaborate. Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, are they just going to?
It's not good. It's not good, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like, it sucks because, yeah, it'd be great to have my books in New York or Florida. That might go away because maybe Diamond goes away. And now the shops are going to have, the shops are going to be like, well, what are we going to do? Now we have to order books from 3 different distributions. Like, I know Penguin, is it Penguin or
yeah, I think Penguin.
They're doing Marvel?
I think they're doing DC, I think.
Is it DC? I thought it was Marvel.
It might be Marvel. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, there's that, and also there's Lunar, which is Image. Image went to Lunar exclusively. They don't do Diamond anymore. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Oli. They pulled out of Diamond, so there's no more Image books for Diamond. They're over at Lunar. So it's kind of it's reverting back to like the early 80s, because in the 80s there was like 3 or 4 distribution companies that comic shops can choose from, but they were all regional, so they only like shipped around in the region area, not the whole country. And Diamond was the one that started buying them up and like then became a conglomerate. Essentially had a monopoly of the distribution for a long time, but now that's going away too.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
That was my
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. You went for fun, I went for work.
I know.
But it was great though. It was still a great experience. It was cool seeing I'm
gonna get this graded.
I'm sure. I don't blame you if you do.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say that was great seeing were the families. The families enjoying themselves, the kids having the great time, And it's just like, you know what? That's cool, man. That's cool that you have all these families that are there, showing their, building experiences with their kids, memories and stuff. That was nice. That was a nice little thing that I got to see throughout the Friday and Saturday. I was, honestly, I didn't tell you this, Kyle, but I almost was tempted to go back on Sunday.
I was too. I wanted to as well, but like I was so tired though.
Yeah, same here. I was like, yeah, if I go there, I'm gonna regret it the moment I get there. So I decided not to.
I wanted to though, but for next year, I definitely want to go more days than just the 2 days.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. That's all we wanted to talk about. Oh, and lastly, I know it's a little downer, but a human trafficking thing happened at San Diego Comic-Con. Sting operation happened this year. So I just want to tell everyone, especially if you're a young woman or even a young man, don't be too impressionable. Don't take people's word for it. Don't fall for these like scams if there are. I don't know how these scams work, to be honest with you. So if it's too good to be true, perhaps maybe take a step back and go like, yeah, maybe not. Hey, I could get you into Hall H, but you gotta go through this back alley here. So I can.
You want to meet? You have a one-on-one with Robert Downey Jr. in Hall H. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ben's giving you a fair warning, Kyle. Be careful out there, Kyle.
If anybody's got like a big fishing pole with like, Tom McFarlane, or Alex Ross, over here, and they're just like luring me over.
Oh, I'll go.
Okay. It's Alex Ross.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I guess the industry is shrinking, but again, golden opportunity for indie creators.
Yeah.
Because like Oli said, micro distribution is going to be a thing. I think that's going to be the future. I think that's going to be something that I'm going to start really thinking about and really investing in. And that is just driving with boxes of my book and hopefully delivering books so they can sell it at their shops. That'd be pretty freaking cool, honestly. And hopefully the word of mouth will spread through that. Like vendors going, hey, I got this book, Ghetto Dragon's really good. Oh, really? Is it in Diamond? No, it's local. If I call him, you think he'll ship me some? That right there would be pretty badass if that it starts happening,
Okay.
Oh, that's it. That's all I have to say about San Diego Comic-Con.
It was so much fun. I had such a blast there. I can't wait to go back again. And I want to thank you for allowing me to go there because of a professional badge.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, thanks 656.
Oh yeah,
because they're the ones. They're the ones who made it happen for me too. And so thank you 656. Thank you, Oli, for letting me know that's a thing.
That's a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. But it was great. It was great to finally get something, even though I'm not currently a pro, right? I'm not working for any of the publishers, but it was great to be able to get a professional badge from the hard work that I put in for years to get to where I'm at now. And that is accredited, editor, name in a comic book that was distributed by Diamond, which was great.
Cool.
Yes, I do plan on going to Ontario for sure, Eric.
Yes.
That's that's next year though, right? It's not this year.
Yeah, next year, I think. Then the next convention that I'm going to go to, I don't know whether or not he's going to go to, is LA Comic-Con. So that's in October. So,
not that far off.
I know. That's only like a month. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a month away.
I know. It's like a month. Man, it's already a month to October.
I know, dude. Seriously.
Oh, man. Yeah. So Ontario next year. Okay, yeah. So Ontario next year. Because I'm gonna definitely do Ontario next year because I want to get Kenneth Rocafort another custom commission from him that's gonna match the other one that I got.
I will see you there, but you won't see me.
Was it like a John Cena thing? It's like you can't see me. But
there's
so
something
much,
else.
yeah.
There's something else I was gonna say and I forgot.
Yeah.
Dang.
I got Tom McFarlane to sign this.
You did. You sure did.
And I also love the Eastman 2 books. So, and Jeff Johns.
And Jeff Johns.
And,
So a quick update on my end. Gambino finally finished the print files. So probably next week we're actually gonna send the book to the printers. He's gonna send me a PDF this weekend, and I'm gonna try to get a few beta readers to read it, just to hopefully they're available when I ask them, so that way they could read through it, and if they catch anything, obviously they could let us know. They could email us, or they could DM us on X or on Instagram and let us know, hey, there's a
this sucks.
No, like like, hey, this word is misspelled on page 34, or this the balloon here is kind of misplaced, whatever, things that we may have missed because we've gone over and over, editing, like just making sure everything's perfect.
It's terrible. Quit comics.
Yeah, just quit, man. Just quit. Just change your career path now before it's too late.
In the manga.
Yeah. So there's that. And also finally the colorist finally returned in the color pages that I commissioned him for. So I'll be getting that book ready for print this coming weekend. Hopefully I can get it done as soon as possible, so I could again send that to the printers and start fulfilling. And then after that, Ghetto Dragon book 1, the Gut Punch edition, as I like to call it.
Gut Punch.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of debating whether or not to do a straight up like pre-order on the website, or just do the no, it's a different colorist, Eric. It's I'm still thinking about Indiegogo and Kickstarter, but I have to like figure out the optics of that to make sure that when I do it this time around, I can at least get some profit come my way, as opposed to just raising money to produce the book. So I'm still figuring that out. But I'll keep you guys posted on that, because book 2 of Ghetto Dragon is currently being worked on right now by a really talented artist, and I think you guys are going to be really surprised and blown away by this guy's work, because he's been delivering some fantastic pages, and I really can't wait for you guys to. I've shown Kyle. Kyle has had.
You showed me some of the pictures, and I must say it looks pretty good.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that one, and that one's going to be book 2. I think hopefully will be the book that takes me one step up, and really showcase to readers that I can write a pretty damn good martial arts comic book. And not only for that, but also not just a martial arts comic book, but a good story as well, with good character, fully developed characters, and a little bit of romance. Just a little bit of romance. In the book.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it. It's,
and hopefully,
with Spider-Man without MJ or Gwen Stacy or something like that.
Yeah, and once after I fulfill Vigilant Fury and Research Protocol, I'm going to try to shop those books around publishers. I'm going to try Dark Horse. I'm going to try Image Comics and see if maybe they'd be interested in publishing something like Research Protocol or Vigilant Fury, and hopefully I can get that out to even more readers and get my work out there. But again, only after I fulfill the books to my backers, because obviously they're the ones who believed in me and trusted me first before anyone else. So they should get their books first before anyone else.
You guys cared, so
no, and I mean that. I sincerely mean that. The fact that I went to a lot of channels to promote my books and my work, and not just that, but myself. The fact that a lot of these YouTubers that have a pretty good, follow a base, That fact that they opened the doors to me and let me promote is great, and the fact that a lot of their listeners pretty much believed like, oh, I like this guy, or I like this book, I'm gonna back it, and now they're waiting for their books, and they've been waiting for their books. So I'm grateful for their patience. I'm grateful for the fact that they don't know who the hell I am. I'm pretty much a nobody, but they like the premise enough to go, you know what, I'll give this guy some money, and here we are. So thank you for to everyone who backed both Vigilant Fury and Reset Protocol. So you'll get your book
You're
soon.
welcome.
So Kyle, we've come to the end.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share?
I can't get enough of it, man.
It is a great story, dude. I mean, talk about a great con experience. That's the way it should be. It almost reminds me of the story I have about Tim Sale and how I met him. But Tim Sale wasn't walking to a different a show or a panel. He was just sitting at his table, but there's nobody at his table. Nobody.
Which is shocking to me.
Yeah, because I think he had just finished Long Halloween, if I remember correctly.
There was another person that I talked to in line. It was Rob Liefeld. I can't remember the artist or writer that he was talking about, but it was a semi-famous artist or writer, and he says it was at years ago at one of like the San Diego Comic-Con or something like that, and yeah, he was just by himself at his booth, and no line was there, and he was just signing whatever anybody wanted to sign. And it's just like that concept is just so foreign to me. Because it's like, how it's like you're supposed to have a line everywhere. Like that's the whole thing. That's all I've ever known is just having to have a line. Like, being at the conventions and stuff like that. It wasn't until like just a couple months ago that I finally got a book signed for free. Right? Like that was so new to me.
Yeah, and I'm happy to hear that too, because that really irks me when I find out that specifically writers, charge for the signature. It's like, really, dude, you're gonna charge someone $10 to $20 to get your name signed on a comic book? Really? At least drop me a damn doodle. Something.
Well, he's a writer.
Yeah, like, come on.
I did see that. Jeff Johns. He was doing little doodles of like Green Lantern and Superman stuff on some of his.
That's pretty cool. But he didn't charge for the signature, so now
he wasn't,
his the respect I have for him went up. His stock went up. I actually ran into him, but I walked by Scott Snyder, writer of Batman, Man Who Laughs, created a character called the Man Who Laughs. He's a short. He's like really short.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. I was like, damn, dude, you're short. But I was heading towards another panel.
That was the thing that go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was just on the short wagon was that I wanted to tell the story of like when I got Jim Lee's autograph at the previous convention it was Torpedo Con. While I was waiting in line for him, and I almost missed him because I did not realize how short Jim Lee was. Like, I thought he was a midget, at first second.
Well, I knew Jim Lee was short. But Scott Snyder was a bit more like, whoa, dude. Wow. Okay. Ben says Jason Aaron doesn't charge. He told my friend once, the fans are the reason I do this. Signing my name for you guys. It's the least. Yeah, exactly. So whenever
Jim Zub and
and that's the way it should be, man. Like, dude, they already gave you their money. Like, why are you charging them more to sign your name? Frank Miller, I understand, right? Because I'm sure him and his people realize, dude, they're just signing my books. They give me my books, I sign them, and they sell them for like, well, there you go, exactly. My point exactly.
But I got this for personal. I got it.
No, I know, but one day you may have to sell that.
Yeah.
because you may be going through a rough economic patch, but you know what? I gotta sell this. I need money. You know.
Yeah. But it's still Frank Miller. But Frank Miller, his even with it being purchased signatures, it was already super long waiting to get him
Right.
anyway.
Right.
So.
And the fact that you got Todd McFarlane, a free Todd McFarlane signature was even better, I'd say. Yeah. I just said that so you could pull out the book again.
Yeah, I know. I was going to do it anyway.
All right, Kyle, was there anything else you want to talk about or mention that we may have missed or you want to mention?
Build those experiences.
Build those experiences. You heard it here first. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, you're waiting for something else?
Oh no, I just was wondering if you maybe had some
buy comic books. And
buy comic, but well, try to buy good comic books, because not every comic book is good. But if you like certain kind of books, buy comic books and try to get new people. Try to convert new people to read comic books. But again, that's hard to do when comic books aren't great. It's like that story. Remember that story I told you about that security guard that used to work at my old job at AT&T?
Oh yeah,
where he was like this hardened, he looked like an ex-cholo because of the way he talked, the way he looked. He was a big dude too, but he might have been a rehabilitated cholo. Like he was once a cholo, but then he got straight and left the life and all that, right?
Okay.
And I'll never forget it because it was a prime example of what happens when you present someone who doesn't normally read comic books something that they can go, whoa, dude, what is that? And that was when my coworker was reading a comic book and he sat down next to him during his lunch going, dude, you're reading a comic book? And he's like, yeah. So isn't that for kids though? And he's like, well, no. And he showed him some pages of Old Man Logan. And that's when the guy was like, what? They do comic books like this? Because, it was the panel, I think, with the flashback panel of Wolverine imagining him killing the Hulk's nephews.
Oh, okay.
That there's like that page where he's like slicing everyone and killing everyone and stuff. So that was the pages he showed him, and he was like, dude, what is that book? I want it now. And so that always stuck in my mind. Yeah, exactly. So it's just a matter of that. It's just a matter of trying to showing them something that's worthwhile to get them to want to read more. But hey, like Oli said, where's Oli's right there. Next year, Julius. Next year. That's the goal, Oli. Yeah, for sure. Hopefully next year we all can be in the same table sharing it and selling our books and building those new experiences like Kyle says.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, that sums up the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment if you're not here in the live chat, if you're watching the replay. Follow me on X at a lucid comic. almost mixed up with my IG. You can find me on Instagram at a lucid PRD. And Vigilant Fury will fulfill soon. So once we fulfill them, we're going to keep the in demand open for a while, but we're going to close it. We do plan on closing it at some point because we are going. We do. Gambino and myself want to publish this book through a publisher and get it into shops. So hopefully that happens. And the same thing with Reset Protocol, but Reset Protocol is not open anymore. So yeah, read comic books, buy comic books, and let's keep this thing going. So as you know, when I end the show, I always end it with something that I found on the internet, whether it's be an interesting thing, a thought-provoking thing, a funny thing, just something that's just I found interesting. And this one I found by accident. Someone posted it on X, and I thought it was the funniest thing that I've ever seen because it was this thing called Geek Fire Inc. And what this individual did was he uses AI to redo famous melodies and songs, and he did DuckTales for this particular post. And he used Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice to sing the DuckTales theme song. I'm sure DuckTales is the thing now. I know they revamped the show and they made it for new audiences. So people, I'm assuming they know what DuckTales is still to this day. But this is the old theme song from when I was a kid. So this video, I saw it, I cracked up, and I wanted to share with you guys. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get copyright stricken for it because of the song, but whatever. My YouTube channel's not monetized. I'm still working on that. I'm still working out the kinks on how I'm going to monetize my channel. But yeah, that's all I can say about that. So
All right.
check it out. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Life is like a hurricane. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's nights of a mystery. Only write history. DuckTales. Every day that I've been making DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad and good luck tales. To the danger. What's behind you? There's a stranger. I'll find you. What to do? Just scramble to some DuckTales. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad and good luck tales. Not ponytails or captain tails, now DuckTales.